Elon Musk, X-Corp, formerly Twitter, is suing the left-leaning media watchdog group Media Matters over its report about ads on X appearing next to anti-Semitic content. Companies including Disney, Apple, and IBM, among others, pausing ads on X in the wake of that report. X now alleging in its lawsuit that Media Matters was trying to drive advertisers away from the platform and, quote, destroy X-Corp. For more on this, we turn to Todd Kreiselman, CEO and co-founder of Media Radar, which has been tracking advertisements on X. So, Todd, thank you for joining us today. You know, your firm, Todd, has unique insight into, how much and where marketers are putting their dollars to work. When you look at advertising spend on X, Todd, what are the trends and themes you're seeing?
Well, look, overall, 2023 has been a real turnaround year for X. This is a business that we see has improved really markedly since Linda Yaccarino, the new CEO who came from NBC Universal, brought people with her, brought discipline, brought advertisers. And so we've seen really big, we've seen a more stable business, a business over the year that is up single digits. We've seen the number of advertisers up almost 20% over this year over year through October. So a lot of things that I think were really positive right up until, a few days ago.
At the same time, and when we're showing some of your numbers here, maybe the total number of advertisers has increased, but some big advertisers have been slashing their ad budgets on X to almost nothing, right?
That is true.
And that was even before this latest situation, correct?
Correct. Those are not folks who departed, in the last week. But for all of those who left, there's another group who have really surged. In fact, some of those same brands you showed that were pausing their advertising, some of those were some of the most successful wins, sort of top 10 advertisers, IBM, Disney, Comcast, Apple. These are some of X's largest clients today.
And Todd, though, when you look at that group of companies that have paused now, are there some names, Todd, that are more impactful than others? Like, for example, I would assume, when Apple pauses, that's a big deal.
I think all of the brands that are up on your screen are really, well-known brands in the United States. And so I think they all matter. We have studied this, however. This is not the first time there's been an incident on a social media network. YouTube and many others have faced the same kind of moment in time just like this. And what we observe at Media Radar is that it lasts very short window, couple days, a week. It is very rare that advertisers who pause leave the platform for good. That's not a thing. We've seen over the years, this is something we study a lot, and these pauses tend to be very brief.
How do we measure how effective the advertising is on these social media platforms? Is it impressions? Is it click-through? And by those metrics, how does X compare to its social media peers?
So I think X is quite favorable against its peer set. Truthfully, it can be measured based on the objectives of the client. So for example, we saw Comcast on that list, or let's say it was Apple TV. They're not necessarily looking for someone to immediately sign up and subscribe to something. It may be that they're first just looking to see, does a user who clicks through watch the content that's being marketed? So definitely there are the examples like Amazon and others in the e-commerce space who are looking to see, does someone buy? But it's not the only objective of an advertiser. And certainly X is competitive on that front. They have a very large audience. It is very hyper targeted. And that's generally good for business if you're in social media. It's good for the advertiser.
Now, as you're measuring what's going on there, do you have a way of verifying the allegations that Media Matters has made that, ads from some of these large advertisers were in fact up against anti-Semitic content? And if I'm an advertiser, is that the most important thing I'm watching? Or is it what Elon Musk is tweeting on the platform, or both?
So, a great question. We don't track the content So we're only looking at the advertising. So Media Radar, we can say if someone starts, if someone stops, how much money they're spending, what is the marketing message. So that's we're not in a position to be sort of a third party to say, was there, bad content right next to someone's advertising. But I will share with you, as a rule, advertisers are always worried about this. Yes, of course, anti-Semitism of all things, but there's a lot of rancid content around the internet, and social media companies work very hard to try to find a way to eliminate unsavory content whenever they can.